starts now.
Music has been used to woo crowds for centuries. From parades, church hymns, and circuses, to street organ grinders and jingles, music captures attention. It helps cultivate appeal, community, and affinity, and it ultimately contributes to selling, recruiting, or retaining, as the case may be. The use of music in politics and related political messaging is even more interesting. Without question, Americans have mastered this medium and still serve as the benchmark. An American election is as much a pageant as it is an exercise in democracy. And it's so effective that people want to be part of it. Hail to the Chief, in fact, is the U.S. President's unofficial anthem. Then there's protest music. Yankee Doodle Dandy, Give Peace a Chance. Sunday, Bloody Sunday, A Change is Gonna Come, Ohio. The songs themselves often transcend their intended meanings and have become embedded as popular pieces of music. Yet, they are just as political as the anthems played in a 4th of July presidential celebration. The use of live musical performance has also been commandeered to raise awareness and help change policy, a branch of political advocacy. Farm Aid in the United States was started by Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and John Mellencamp in 1985 to raise awareness about the loss of family farms and to raise funds to help keep families in local agriculture. In Toronto, in the early 2000s, when the city was listed on the Steer Clear Of list by the World Health Organization due to a SARS outbreak, the use of live music and its accompanying crowds of fans with money to spend was corralled to help create a different narrative about health safety in the city. And it turned out that performances by the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, and Rush, plus another 20 or so performers, was an effective salve against the economic downturn associated with SARS. But I think the most interesting use of music in a political way is found right inside the United Nations headquarters in New York City. Lobbying has a different life in the UN, but make no mistake, lobbying happens. When an election is held for membership on one of the dozens of committees in the UN architecture, country and NGO representatives appeal to other delegates from anything ranging from educational materials to posters, trinkets, and, yes, music. Because, well, there is nothing quite like a live musical performance with some hors d'oeuvres and cocktails at the end of a long day of deliberations in a UN meeting hall. Most recently, several countries were vying for a seat on the UN Security Council. Tastes and samples of various products from each contending country were offered to those considering the candidates. It was thought by many that Canada would surely secure a seat, but it turns out that Celine Dion wasn't enough of a draw for voting delegates. Ireland, on the other hand, pushed its candidacy for the Security Council seat with overtures that involved free tickets to Riverdance and a U2 performance. Ireland ultimately won over the votes. So, equally powerful, then, is selecting music that gets your point across and is appealing to those making the decision. Visit stephenchristiansen.ca for more episodes. This podcast is available on all streaming platforms, including Anchor, Google, Spotify, Apple, and TuneIn. I'm Stephen Christiansen. Thanks for listening.
Production of Stephen Christensen. Podcast complete.